8. New passport and ID rules that could affect your travel in 2026. New rules from TSA and border agencies are changing the way we travel. If you are planning to fly in 2026, whether for a dream vacation or a simple trip to visit family, these changes could catch you off guard. Many travelers show up at the airport thinking they have done everything right, only to be stopped at check-in or security. What follows is often missed flights, expensive rebooking fees, and sometimes canceled trips. The good news is that all of these problems can be avoided. By understanding these 8 rules and taking a few simple steps at home, you can make sure your next trip goes smoothly from start to finish. Rule 8. The 6-month passport rule. The expiration date printed on your passport is not always the real deadline for international travel. Many countries now require your passport to be valid for at least 6 months from the date you enter their country. This includes popular destinations in Asia, Africa, and some Caribbean islands. So if your passport expires in March and your flight is in January, you might think you have more than 2 months left and everything is fine. But when you get to the check-in counter, the airline agent will stop you and explain that the country you are visiting requires 6 months of validity. It does not matter that you will be home in 2 weeks. They cannot make exceptions to another country's rules. The result is thousands of dollars in non-refundable tickets lost in one conversation. To avoid this problem, check your passport right now. Add 6 months to your entry date and your return date. If your passport expires anywhere in that window, start the renewal process. In the United States, you can renew online at travel.state.gov, and it takes about 6 to 8 weeks. During busy seasons, it can take longer, so do not wait until December for a January trip. A helpful habit is to take a photo of your passport expiration date and set a phone reminder about 10 months before it expires. This gives you a calm 2-month buffer to renew without panic. Whenever you book international travel, always ask this question. Does this destination require 6 months of passport validity? Hidden passport damage. Your passport might look perfectly fine on the outside, but still be rejected at the airport. This happens because modern passports have a small computer chip and antenna hidden inside the cover. This chip stores your information and is used by scanners at airports around the world. The problem is that this chip is delicate. If you regularly fold your passport or carry it in your back pocket, the antenna can crack over time. Once it is damaged, the chip stops working, and your passport will be treated as broken, even if it still looks brand new on the outside. Starting in 2026, more countries will use electronic gates that rely on this chip. If your passport will not scan, the system treats it as damaged, and you will face delays or missed flights. Beyond chip damage, small ripples from moisture, water stains, peeling laminate, or faded ink can also cause problems. These issues are easy to miss, especially if your eyesight is not what it used to be. To protect your passport, never fold or roll it. Stop carrying it in your back pocket. Keep it flat in a document pouch or hard shell holder. Before any trip, examine your passport carefully under good light. If your eyesight is not great, ask a family member to check it for you. Look for ripples, water stains, peeling plastic, or faded areas. If your photo is faded or you look very different now, consider renewing early. If you are already at the airport and your chip fails to scan, stay calm and say this: I would like to request manual processing while I arrange to replace this passport after this trip. Rule 6. Real ID for domestic flights. Even if you are just flying within the United States, your regular driver's license may no longer be enough. Since May 2025, TSA has been enforcing Real ID rules more strictly. By 2026, these rules will be fully enforced. If your license does not have a small gold or black star in the upper right corner, it is not Real ID compliant. Many people still have older licenses without this star. They might have used the same license for years without any problems, so they assume it will keep working. But if you show up at the airport with an old license and no passport, you could face long delays, extra screening, or even miss your flight. Getting to the DMV to get a Real ID license can be challenging, especially if you do not drive as much as you used to or have mobility issues. Check your driver's license right now. Look at the upper right corner. If there is no star, your license is not Real ID compliant. You have 2 options. The first is to visit your local DMV and get a Real ID license. This usually requires bringing extra documents like your birth certificate and proof of address. The second option is to simply use your passport when flying, even on domestic trips. TSA accepts passports at every checkpoint in the country, so you do not have to worry about whether your state has caught up with real ID requirements. If you fly at least once or twice a year, using your passport as your main ID for flying is often the easiest solution. Rule 5. Europe's new fingerprint and photo requirements. If you are planning a trip to Europe in 2026 or beyond, be prepared for a new experience at the border. Starting October 2025 and becoming mandatory by April 2026, Europe is rolling out a new entry-exit system. This system will collect your face photo and 4 fingerprints every time you enter or leave the Schengen zone. The Schengen zone includes most popular European destinations like France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and many others. When you arrive at a European airport, instead of simply getting your passport stamped, you will be directed to a kiosk where you need to place your fingers on a scanner and look at a camera. For many travelers, this will be quick. But if you have arthritis, hand tremors, or stiff hands, the fingerprint scanner might have trouble reading your prints. You might have to try multiple times. This extra time can cause you to miss trains, tour pickups, or connecting flights. To prepare, arrive at European airports about 30 minutes earlier than you normally would. If you have any medical conditions affecting your hands, tell the officer right away. They have alternative procedures for handling medical issues, but they only use them if you speak up. When booking connecting flights through Europe, build in at least 90 minutes between flights. Avoid tight layovers of 45 to 60 minutes. One slow biometric line plus a long walk between gates is all it takes to miss your connection. If the scanner has trouble reading your fingerprints, say this: "I have a medical condition with my hands, so my fingerprints are hard to scan. Is there an alternative process?" Rule 4. ETIAS approval. Before flying to Europe. Starting in late 2026, Americans and other visa-exempt travelers will need something called ETIAS approval before flying to most of Europe. Think of it as a pre-screening pass similar to what travelers need when visiting the United States. It is an online application you complete before your trip. Without ETIAS approval, you will not be allowed to board your flight to Europe, even if your passport is perfectly valid. Many travelers have been visiting Europe for decades, using only their passport. The idea that they now need an additional authorization is new and unexpected. If you show up at the airport without ETIAS, the airline cannot check you in. You might try to apply on the spot using airport Wi-Fi, but while most applications are approved within minutes, some can take up to 96 hours. If your application gets flagged for additional review, you could be stuck waiting at the airport with no guarantee of when your approval will come through. Apply for ETIAS at least 1 week before your flight, or earlier if you like to be extra prepared. Use only the official EU website to apply. If online forms are not your thing, ask a family member or friend to help you. ETIAS is valid for 3 years or until your passport expires, whichever comes first. If you get a new passport, you need a new ETIAS because the authorization is linked to your passport number. After your ETIAS is approved, print the confirmation on paper, save a copy on your phone, and email it to yourself. Having multiple copies ensures you can access your authorization even if something goes wrong with your phone. Rule 3. Digital IDs are not accepted everywhere. TSA now accepts digital driver's licenses stored in Apple Wallet and Google Wallet at some airports. This sounds convenient because you can leave your physical wallet at home and just use your phone. But there is a catch that trips up many travelers. Digital IDs are only valid at select airports and at specific security lanes within those airports. Not every checkpoint has the technology to scan digital IDs, and not every TSA agent is trained to accept them. Some states advertise their digital ID as TSA approved, which leads people to believe they can use it anywhere. But TSA approved does not mean accepted everywhere. If you show up at a checkpoint that does not accept digital IDs and you left your physical license at home, you will face delays and extra screening, even at checkpoints that accept digital IDs. What happens if your phone battery dies or the screen is too dim to scan? Any of these issues can turn a quick screening into a lengthy delay. The safest approach is to always carry your physical ID, whether it is your driver's license or passport. Even if you have a digital version on your phone, think of your digital ID as a backup, not a replacement. Before you reach security, make sure your phone is fully charged and the screen brightness is turned up. If your digital ID fails, immediately say, "I have my physical ID as backup," and hand it over. Here is a smart tip. Take a clear photo of the front of your physical license and store it in a secure app on your phone. This photo is not an official ID, but if you ever lose your wallet while traveling, that image can help staff verify who you are faster than if you have nothing. Rule 2. Declaring liquid medications at security. TSA allows liquid medications over 3.4 ounces through security if they are medically necessary. But there is a critical requirement that many travelers miss. You must declare these items at the checkpoint. If you leave your liquid medications buried in your bag without declaring them, the scanner flags an unidentified, oversized liquid. The agent does not know if it is medication or something else. Their training tells them to confiscate any oversized liquid that was not properly declared. Many travelers pack liquid supplements or medications in their carry-on without thinking about it. Then, at screening, an agent pulls their bag aside and confiscates the bottle because there was no declaration and no documentation. The supplement is gone, and the next few days of the trip are uncomfortable because they do not have their regular medication. To avoid this, separate all liquid medications over 3.4 ounces before you reach security. Put them in a small zip bag or pouch you can easily pull out. As you approach the X-ray belt, say clearly, "I have medically necessary liquids to declare." The agent will usually take your bag, place it in a bin, maybe run a quick test, and you are done in about 30 seconds. Bring proof when you can. This includes a prescription label with your name, a doctor's note, or the original bottle showing your name and dosing. If an agent pushes back, stay calm and say, "These are medically necessary liquids exempt under TSA guidelines." A helpful tip is to print the TSA page about medical liquids from their website and keep it in your medication bag. When you can point to the official rule in writing, the conversation usually goes smoother. Rule 1. Blank passport pages. This is the most expensive mistake travelers make, and it catches people completely off guard. You can have years left before your passport expires, a perfectly working chip, and a clean cover, and still be denied boarding. All it takes is not having enough empty pages inside your passport. When you travel internationally, immigration officers stamp your passport with entry and exit marks. Visas take up space too. Over time, these stamps add up. Many countries require a minimum number of completely blank pages before they will let you enter. Some require 1 page, others require 2, 3, or 4. Some specifically require 2 blank pages that are facing each other. If you do not have the required blank pages, the airline can refuse to board you, even if your passport looks perfect. The challenge is that pages fill up gradually. You are not counting pages every time you travel. Then you book a big trip with multiple stops and realize your passport is almost full. Making it worse, immigration officers stamp wherever they find space. So, you might have several half-used pages scattered throughout your passport with no completely blank ones left. Here is something important. With U.S. passports, you can no longer add pages. If your passport is full, you must renew the entire thing. This means new paperwork, new photos, paying the fee, and waiting for processing. Open your passport today and count the pages that are completely blank with no stamps or marks at all. Make sure you have at least 4 completely blank pages. Check whether you have at least 2 blank pages in a row. If you are under 4 blank pages, start planning a renewal now. Do not forget to check the passports of anyone traveling with you, including grandchildren. Child passports only last 5 years and fill up quickly. A smart habit is to take a photo of your passport pages when you get a new one. After each big trip, flip through and see how many pages you used. When the book is about halfway full, start working on renewal. Whenever you book international travel, ask this question. Does this destination require a minimum number of blank passport pages? It takes 10 seconds to ask, but can save a vacation worth thousands of dollars. What you should do now. These 8 rules are not meant to scare you away from traveling. They're meant to help you prepare so your trip goes smoothly. The travelers who have the worst experiences are the ones who do not know about these rules until it is too late. A little preparation now means your energy goes into enjoying your vacation, not dealing with problems at the airport. Take 10 minutes right now while everything is fresh in your mind. Grab your passport and check the expiration date. Add 6 months to your next planned travel date and see if it will still be valid. Count your blank pages and make sure you have at least 4 completely empty ones. Examine your passport for any damage to the chip or pages. Find your driver's license and check for the real ID star. If it is not there, decide whether to visit the DMV or plan to use your passport for flying. If you take liquid medications over 3.4 ounces, think about how you will pack them and practice declaring them at security. If you have trips to Europe planned for late 2026 or beyond, put a reminder in your calendar to apply for ETIAS at least 1 week before departure. You have worked hard, and you deserve to enjoy your travels without stress. Whether you are visiting family for the holidays, celebrating a special anniversary, or finally taking that dream vacation, you should not have to worry about being turned away because of a rule you did not know about. By taking these simple steps now, you can make sure your next trip goes smoothly from beginning to end. Your future self at the airport will thank you for being prepared.